I met a gypsy.
So we decide we're going to do this. And this is something that came out of the COVID detente and having to work together and enjoying working together and trusting one another. And so Feld took our TV package, our combined TV package, to market, and NBC was like, yeah, we love that, and we're going to pay more. And we have an idea. What if there was something at the end of the year that was like really cool? And we all knew that for the most part, the industry was maxed out. 31 races, that's it. 17 Supercrosses, 12 Nationals, Monster Cup, and Motocross of Nations. That is plenty of racing. That's all the industry could stomach. And they were like, well, and Dave Prater really started spearheading this project and saying, like, well, what if we did a playoff? What if we had these races that qualify you to this one big championship, and it's we'll have your Supercross champion, you have your motocross champion, but we'll have this third champion, this sort of end-all seasonal champion, and it's different, but it's cool, and it's, and NBC loved it. But we had to figure out a way to make it work. So we had trouble with our 12th National, finding the proper home for it. They knew that Monster Cup was sort of a weird one-off thing. So they decided, what if we got rid of Monster Cup, you dropped a National, and then we had this one more race added. So 2 playoff races in place of the 2 we dropped, and then one end-all, and then let's take the money we got from TV, the surplus, and have this giant purse. And we went to the OEMs, we went to the athletes, we went to the agents, and we said, what do you think? And they're all like, yeah, let's try it. Let's try it. It's been a while since anything new happened. And they were right. That became the Monster Energy Super Motocross World Championship. It's the reason there's no more Monster Cup. It's the reason there's not a 12th National. And I don't think you'll find very many people that think it was a bad idea.
No, I'm not one of them.
And it's been a blast. Jet, made $1 million. Hayden Deegan made $500,000. My buddy Jeremy Hand, a privateer, he took his 30 grand or whatever he won at the end of the year as a bonus, and bought himself a radial lawnmower because he actually has a lawn care business when he's not racing.
Yeah, right.
He's one of the 20 best riders out there, but he has a side hustle because he's a privateer. So that's a way that the Cold War between Supercross and motocross ended. It's how it helped. And it's how we're sitting here at this point with a lot of riders around the rest of the world now reinterested in doing that, I'm moving to America thing. They see the success of a family like the Lawrences. They see the success of guys in the past. And they also see the addition of what we have here. And they want to be part of it. And I'm, very proud that it's worked out so far. We got a lot of work to do. But this goes back to one of those things where you said, we have this unique moment. Let's make some changes. Let's do some things. That was a pretty big change.
Huge.
Yeah. And it worked. And a big part of it was ending that Cold War.
Yeah.
And so while all this is happening, another Cold War ended. And that was the one between MX Sports and what used to be YouthStream. There was always a battle between Giuseppe Luongo and myself, a battle between the AMA and the FIM.
2 families in motocross.
Yeah.
That's got all the makings of like a mob movie. Did any cars blow up? Was there any European Fiats that exploded during these times?
It really started in earnest when AMA decided to go out of the pro racing business and put motocross up for bid. And Giuseppe, bid on it.
Oh, he bid on the AMA.
Oh yeah, and so did a lot of other promoters. But in the end, it and no one won. Jim France, the owner of NASCAR, DMG, he ended up buying AMA Pro Racing. But what it did is it put like a real big wall of ice between us.
Because you're looking at us, and we're like it kind of gave.
And there was also a battle between they wanted to keep riders. We wanted them to come here. We didn't want our best riders to go there. It was a contest, a rivalry for the best riders, the best teams who had the best races. But to his credit, and after the Motocross of Nations at Majora in 2016, I don't know what happened or why it happened, but I didn't go. And I'm sitting at my local Denny's having breakfast in Morgantown, West Virginia on literally the Monday after that race. And my phone rings and I look at it and the number pops up and it says Geneva, Switzerland. And I was like, oh man, I know one person from Geneva, Switzerland. So I answered it and it was Giuseppe. And he kind of said that same thing, like, hey, I've tried to come to America. It doesn't really work out. There's a lot of pushback. I know that we had our differences. And the last big difference was when Ryan Villopoto went in 2015 to race in Europe. And that was a boondoggle for everyone. But in the end...
Why was that a pain point for you guys?
He was our defending champion.
Yeah. But I mean, it was...
We thought he was retired. And it goes back to... Looking back now, 10 years... in the rear view mirror, it wasn't that big of a deal, but it was sort of a personal... It was
just like he just wanted to go,
He
right?
did, and I always loved it when guys went to Europe. I was the guy that would go cover the guys in Europe.
Yeah.
But this became sort of a hot potato because, we were dealing with the James Stewart situation with the FIM, and Villopoto, we all thought he was burned out and retired, and he was. But, Monster and MXGP made him a deal he could not refuse. And it became a really neat story for a while. It didn't end the way anyone thought it would, but it was nonetheless, awesome that he tried. Great that the Europeans or the MXGP got to see how fast he really was once in Thailand because he was mad. But in the end, at the end of that season, he was back into retirement. He was done. Luongo, knew that he had to do something in America. He wanted Team USA to remain engaged in Motocross of Nations and just said, hey, let's quit fighting and maybe work on some things together. And, if we come to America, we'll work with you. We'll work with your schedule. We'll work with your people. And we'll bring the Motocross of Nations back. And I was like, yeah, okay, let's try this. And they had scheduled a MXGP at Charlotte and then one at Glen Helen. And the MXGP fell off the table at Charlotte. And they had a hole in their schedule and they needed something. And David Luongo and asked, and he's by now taken over for his dad. And he asked if we could help. And we were looking at WW Ranch as a possible venue. Actually, it was Gatorback at first.
Yeah.
But then there was a problem with the landowner, and Wynn Kern had to deal with all that. So then we decided, because everyone had already made their plans to be in Florida, to try it at WW Ranch. The point of the story is we ended up having an MXGP. Just like that, I became a part-time MXGP promoter. And the same thing, we figured out that we liked working together.
Yeah.
And so they were like, all right, where do you want the Motocross of Nations? And I was like, there's only one place that I think if it's coming back to America, it's got to go to Redbud. And it's not our event. It's the Ritchie family's track event and everything. We all pitched in to help make it a success in 2018. And unfortunately, it rained.
Yeah.
And Team USA didn't show up.
Did Team USA go to that?
we did in 2022. Excuse me. So we had it again, and this time in 2022 is a real big success.
Fantastic.
And we invited. David has invited us to go over and share ideas, and he came to the Indianapolis Supercross to have a look around and meet Feld, and we're doing our best to work together to all grow motocross and supercross. It doesn't necessarily mean we're in having a league or we're the same.
Yeah.
But the growth of motocross in Europe and all around the world is important to us, and the growth of motocross and supercross in America is important to the rest of the world. And working together just makes it so much easier than working apart. And in the end, I will say that I truly believe that Feld has helped make our little family business a bigger company, and our little family business
helped them
be a little smaller.
Yep, a little bit more of a family business.
And I truly know and appreciate and respect what people like Dave Prater and Mike Mewey and all them and Mr. Felt, how they feel about motocross and supercross now. They're as all in as you and I are, and it's really cool. And I think that again is a reason we're sitting here now on the precipice of a upward trajectory. We've got ascendant stars, we've got cooperation, we've got 10 OEMs, in this thing.
If you enjoyed this content, please like and subscribe. And to listen to the full 3-hour podcast, search Gypsy Tales in your favorite podcast platform or click the link in the description below. Gypsy Gang.